Hello, Texas fans. I'm Riley Zayas of HornsIllustrated.com, and this is the week ahead for the Horns. Well, last week we had 3 Longhorn teams in action. This week we'll have 5, 6 if you count the women's golf team playing at the Schooner Classic up in Oklahoma on Sunday and Monday. Now, the men's golf team is also kicking into action this upcoming week at the Colonial Collegiate Invitational. They'll open up the season by traveling up to Fort Worth, heading to that event, also known as the Big 12 Preview, for the number of Big 12 schools that compete each year in this invitational. They'll face off against the likes of TCU, the host school, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma, just to name a few. And later on in the week, from Friday through Sunday, the Horns will compete at the Big 12 match play in Houston, facing some familiar conference opponents once again later on in the week. Now, the team will be led by junior Cole Hammer, who competed at the U.S. Open 2 weeks ago and won the 2019 McCormick Award as the number 1 ranked amateur in the world. Definitely some talent for the men's golf team heading into this 2020-2021 season. And the same can be said for the Texas volleyball team, who returns home after going on the road and defeating Oklahoma in 2 straight matches to extend their streak of winning the season opener to 10. 10. That says a lot about the coaching of Jared Elliott and the talent Texas brings in each and every year. This season will be the final year that Texas Athletics plans to use the Frank Erwin Center, and the volleyball team will play its home matches in the Spaces Arena for the first time in over 2 decades. The volleyball team will play under the same roof as the basketball teams, and stage couldn't be bigger. Kansas comes to town for the home opener, and they're a tough opponent, but the Horns definitely appear to have an advantage. The Jayhawks drew a rough first 4 matches. They opened the season with 2 matches against national powerhouse Baylor. And then they'll come to Austin and battle Texas, the top team in the 2020 preseason Big 12 coaches rankings. Now look for outside hitter Logan Eggleston to stand out, as she led Texas with a total of 35 kills, 4 digs, and 38 points over the course of 2 victories last weekend in Oklahoma. Both matches against the Jayhawks will start at 7 p.m. and can be seen live on Longhorn Network. Now moving over, women's tennis will also be up in Fort Worth at the TCU Invitational later on the week from Friday through Sunday. Now, the weekend event will be the first chance in 7 months that the Texas women's tennis team will be able to compete after last season was abruptly canceled in the wake of COVID-19. They did have it going, especially in March, and they bring back a couple of returning stars, notably Marta Perez-Mur and Fernanda Labrana, as well as Anna Turati, who will be forced to navigate through the season for the first time without her longtime doubles partner and twin sister Bianca, who decided to turn pro in April. Nevertheless, Texas tennis will have some excellent tennis talent. They are amongst the front runners for the Big 12 title heading this 2020-2021 season. Now, the Texas soccer team also had quite a week. They scored their first goal of the season and also got their first victory over Oklahoma. The Texas soccer team is ramped and ready for the longest road trip of the season out to Morgantown, West Virginia, for a match against the West Virginia Mountaineers on Friday night. The game, which begins at 6 p.m. Central Time, can be seen live on Big 12 Now and ESPN+. While we expected it to be Julia Grosso or Haley Berg to score the Horns' first goal of the season, it actually came off a shot by Mackenzie McFarland. Now, McFarland not only scored her first career goal at the college level, but did it on her birthday. And that considering McFarland may very well be the best threat to West Virginia on Friday night. The Mountaineers may be Texas' toughest opponent yet, as they've cruised to a 2-1 record, the only loss coming this past Friday on the road in double overtime to Oklahoma State. Cap it all off, the Texas football team will return home for a shootout, a Big 12 matchup against the TCU Horned Frogs, with a surge of momentum coming off Saturday's huge come-from-behind victory over Texas Tech, the largest comeback for Texas since 2007. Think about that. 2007, 13 years, the Horns did it, coming from behind on Saturday. And they'll return home with a 2-0 record, 1-0 in conference play for this duel against TCU, who's always tough. The Horned Frogs lost their season opener in heartbreaking fashion, 37-34 at home to Iowa State on Saturday, and will look to get back on track in Austin. As usual, Sam Ehlinger continues to aid in his case for the Heisman Trophy, showing his true leadership qualities in Texas's win on Saturday. Down 56-41, Ehlinger mounted a quick but well-done comeback for the Texas football team against the Texas Tech Red Raiders to salvage that game and earn their first Big 12 victory of the season. TCU has quarterback Max Duggan healthy, and while they'll likely be more focused on the passing game than the running game, where they'll have a healthy quarterback and more experienced wide receivers, such as J.D. Spellman, the wideout who transferred from Nebraska for his senior season. The game will kick off from Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium in Austin at 11 a.m., live across the nation on Fox. Check it out there, and check out the Texas football team as they continue to fight, continue to battle, and continue to represent Texas on a national stage each and every week. They're number 9 in this week's AP Top 25 rankings, and with a win over TCU, could only improve from there. Well, that'll do it for the week ahead for the Horns. Have a great week, Texas fans. Hook 'em.